Yo, what's up? This your boy Derry Wrench, StrikeSellerSports.com. In today's video, I just want to talk about what went down on Saturday night between the Memphis Tigers and the Missouri Tigers. Game took place in St. Louis, Missouri after, Missouri did what they did to have the game played over in St. Louis, which was pretty much a home crowd for them. Because they painted the field Missouri colors. And looking at it now, I know a lot of people was mad about it. A lot of like Memphis fans were upset about it, but looking at it right now, man, it was the right thing to do, man, to be honest, because the Missouri fans outnumbered the Memphis fans by a lot. And that was a home crowd for Missouri. And it was a huge home field advantage for them, and it played to their strengths. They used that crowd to their advantage, and especially on third down. It was a home crowd. It was a home game for Missouri. It was what they did, whatever they do up in Columbia, Missouri. They moved it up to St. Louis and did the same thing. As far as the way they run their activities at their football games for Missouri. But anyways, man, I was there, in St. Louis, watched the game, as a spectator. I would say, I didn't have like a bad experience, with Missouri fans. I was on the 50-yard line, watching the game on the visitor side. So I could see everything, the Memphis sideline, the fans sitting below, all that stuff. And I know people were, some plus people online complaining about, Missouri fans, and I believe that somebody said a Memphis fan said they had beer poured on them. Unfortunate situation. But as for me, I didn't have an experience bad, interaction with Missouri fans. Talked to a guy for a couple minutes and while watching the game. We just going back and forth on, how the season gonna play out, how the season could possibly play out for each team, and you know wasn't too bad for me. But as for this game, I felt like Memphis fought hard. I'm not trying to give them a moral victory or anything like that, but they fought hard. They hung in there. Against I think might be a good SEC team. You lost to a SEC team by 7 points, and the spread had it at Missouri minus 6, a 6 point dog. They had Memphis as a 6 point dog, so it was close. And Memphis did a really good job of playing against Missouri in that game. This was far better than what we saw last year when they played another SEC opponent in Mississippi State, where it was just like they didn't even try. You know what I'm saying? It was a far better effort tonight, against Missouri and their personnel. But anyways, man, as far as the game goes, Sted Heineken, he threw for come on, hold on, he threw for 316 yards off of 31 completions. He made over 31 completions and 47 attempts, 316 yards, 3 touchdowns, average 6.7 yards per throw, 3 touchdowns, two picks. I talk about that later in the video, but that was his. That's what his night looked like. Blake Watson, 18 carries, 47 yards, no touchdowns. Set ran for 21 yards, now off of 9 carries. Son Smith was another quiet night for Son Smith. 2 carries for 15 yards. Just couldn't get it going last night. But in the receiving department is where we saw a lot of action from Memphis. Rocktail had 7 catches for 143 yards. Blake Watson had 9 catches for 83 yards. So yeah, overall he had a total of 100 total yards of offense for Blake Watson. Demir Blake Massey, 7 catches, 36 yards. Kobe Drake, 1 catch, 21 yards. Toski Dove, the former Missouri Tiger, 2 catches, 19 yards. Joseph Gate, 2 catches, 6 yards. Javon Ducker, one catch, 5 yards. So I'm gonna just cut it off right there. But and no action out of Anthony Littlefield, the tight end. But other than that, man, it was a highly competitive game, and that game could have went either way. I'm gonna break that down later in the video, but going forward for this team, uh, Blake Watson, you know, needs to be more, be a lot, be a it needs to be a lot more involved in the running attack. Offensive line needs to do a better job of run blocking. Rock Taylor is your WR1 in this offense going forward. Your offense, when you need to make a play, make a pass down the field, third and 10, third and 15, second and 20, second and 5, second and 10. The ball needs to go in the hands of Rock Taylor. In this game, he showed me. I learned. I believe that from what I took away from this game, that he is your best wide receiver for this season. He is your best wide receiver out of what we have right now. We didn't see so far. We haven't seen that. The big playability from Demir Blankenship yet. We haven't seen that type of Calvin Austin like production out of him yet. Hopefully, we can get that going. They can get that going down the road. But Rock Taylor is your WR1. The offensive line got to do a better job of protecting Seth Heineken. It's not me absolving him of anything, or not or me trying to, you know, cover up what he did, or take up for him or anything like that. But he's running too much, in my opinion. And the passing attack, the passing attack could be a lot better if the offensive line was better at protection, because he can throw it down the field, man. When he was his freshman year and his sophomore year, I would say his freshman year, we saw him throw the ball down the field a lot more. We saw it last year. He threw the ball down the field. He threw the ball down the field a lot. But this year, man, it's been a lot of this, nickel and diamond offense, where it's just little five passes here, like they're playing in the phone booth. There's five pass 5 yards here, pass 10 yards there. It's like nickel and diamond, methodically. It's a methodical approach to the end zone. You know what I'm saying? And they got to do a better job of that, man. They got to do better. They have to do a better job of protecting him, because you got guys like Demir Blankenship, Joseph Skates, who got top line. If he runs straight, in a one up, you throw it down the field to him on the side. Chance he could take it to the house, man. He's done it in the past. You got wide receivers on this team to put you in position to be successful. So that's what needs to happen going forward, man. Offensive line has to do a better job of pass protection. Blake Watson needs to be more featured into the running game. He has to be, because he had last week he had 169 against Navy. This week he had 47 yards on 18 carries. You got to have a lot more than that. He has to be featured a lot more in this offense as a running back. You know what I'm saying? No issue with him catching passes out of the backfield, but he has to be more effective as a runner, man. That way you can control the clock, control time of possession, and control the flow of the game. Cause that's what happened in this game, in this football game. Um, Memphis lost this game because of penalties, not being able to run the ball, and turnovers by the quarterback. Say again, penalties, not being able to run the football, and turnovers. You had multiple calls where you had first downs, but was take those first downs were taken off the board because you couldn't run the football. Plain as not run the football. The first downs were taken. Excuse me, dude. First downs were taken off the board because of penalties, holding penalties by your offensive line. You couldn't run the football successfully like last week, similar to last week. And Sam Heineken with those two interceptions pretty much changed the outcome of that game. Because at one point in that game, Memphis had the lead in that game. They lost it. They caused turnover in that game to Missouri. They got, I believe, Memphis went up, I believe, 10-7 if I'm not mistaken. Missouri cut the lead to, only 4 point. They took the lead at 14-10. Memphis got it back, got the lead. Then Missouri, scored again. It was just a lot of ebb and flows through the game. At one point, you thought Memphis had the momentum, and Missouri would just come right back and counter. You know what I'm saying? So it just the turnovers, man, that really, turnovers and penalties really, cost Memphis not to win this game because it was there for the taking for Memphis. You know what I'm saying? But set through those interceptions, man, that was costly right there. That was costly because they showed that they could get deep into Missouri's territory. They moved the ball on them all day, but when it was time to it was time for a crucial play in this game, it was a turnover by setback. He has to be better. He has to be better, and that's mainly due to having a shaky offensive line. And I thought that would have gotten fixed during the off season, but apparently it's still not up to par. You know what I'm saying? So there's that. But other than that, man, good effort by Memphis, man. Good effort. You didn't get blown out. You know, you the the bed lines had you at a 6 point dog underdog, and they were right. You know what I'm saying? You lost by 7 points. You lost by a touchdown. And everything I said about Missouri's personnel was came to pass in this game. Luther Burden is him. Luther Burden had 10 catches, 177 yards in this game, which is unguardable. Memphis had no answers for him. He would leave the game for an injury, come right back out there. I think he left the game like 2 times and came right back out there and just balled out. And the complimentary pieces around him weren't bad as well. You know, Cody Schrager, who I also told y'all about, who I also wrote about during the summer, he had a big game. 14 carries, 123 yards, one touchdown. He scored the last touchdown for Missouri, which pretty much put it out of reach for Memphis. You know, but good effort, man. Good effort. Good effort by the team. Um, Compared to last year, they would have got blown out. Like last year, they got blown out by Mississippi State, which is a SEC team. Bet a lot. I like the effort I saw last night. Compared to last season when you facing a Power Five school. You know what I'm saying? Now what lies ahead for this team? They play Boise State next, and after that it's Tulane. But for right now, I'm gonna focus on Boise State. So Boise State beat San Diego State on Friday night, 34-31. Proved to a record of 2-2. Um, the play for the New Year's Six is I would say out of the reach for right now for Boise State, but you never know. You know what I'm saying? So they'll come in next week will be their last stand to stay within reach of that New Year's Six. I know there's an undefeated team still. I know there's some undefeated group of five teams out there, but You never know what can happen down the stretch when one of them can lose, possibly lose multiple games. But for right now, Boise State is on the outside looking into that picture, but they can always gain momentum and go on a run, but they're gonna need help, with that. But they're gonna come in playing with the hairs on fire next week against Memphis. You know, the Tulane game is important as well. But I know I hear people say that you know these out of conference games are not a big deal, and I disagree with that because with each loss, the the fan base is losing interest. A lot of people are that upset with Ryan Silverfield. They just are, and you know you never know, man. And Tulane looks really good. I mean, Tulane looks really good with Michael Pratt as the quarterback, and he came back to the team yesterday to Tulane. You know, but um, next week you play Boise State at home, so should be an interesting game. Looking forward to seeing if the Tigers can bounce back, if they can recover from this past defeat. You know, but you didn't do it. This was a really good effort, man, by the man. It just came down to costly mistakes, man. Interceptions, turnovers, well, interceptions, penalties, and not being able to run the football. You couldn't control if Memphis was able to run the football in this game and control time of possession, they could have beat Missouri. They could have beat them for real. And that offensive line gotta get better. Gotta has to be better, man. Down the stretch, that offensive line has to be better. And that's maybe the best defensive front they'll face all season, you know, outside of Tulane. And Tulane's O line got pushed around against their defensive front got pushed around against Ole Miss. So there's that. But whenever you can beat an SEC school, man, it's always great for your resume. But fortunately it didn't get done last night. But that's still a lot to be played for this football team. The Boise State game is still on the horizon. Tulane right after that. After that stretch, your schedule softens up a bit, and after that, you should be able to go on a run and put yourself in the best position to play for a conference title. And maybe New Year's Six might not be in the cards this year, and there's nothing wrong with that. Because we're being honest, the goal is to win conference championships if you're a G5 school until playoffs that 12 team playoff structure starts up, which is next year. The goal for a group of five conferences in my opinion, their main goal should be to win their conference title. Now going to the New Year's Six and all that to be one of these highly coveted bowls, that's extra in my opinion. That's extra. You know what I'm saying? That looks if you win them, if you're able to beat a Power Five school while playing in one of those bowls, that looks great for your program going into the future. But it's not necessarily the end of the world if you get to the conference title game, win it, but don't go to a New Year's Six bowl. It's not. That's extra. But we'll see how it play out, man. Memphis still has a lot to play for. Um, to me, I think we discovered a lot of things tonight, positive and negative. You know, hopefully the positives will outweigh the negatives going into these next couple of games as they go into conference play. Hopefully Rock Taylor will be the guy going forward. Clear cut number one wide receiver passing in the passing game. Blake Watson could be the more consistent runner in his rushing attack. That needs to be option number one. And hopefully the offensive line could get better, man. Because that's a position that you got to invest in long term, man. Like in your recruiting efforts, long term, you got to invest in that position and continue. You have to continue to, you know, improve the depth of it, the depth of the offensive line, the quality of the offensive line you're recruiting. You know, and to me right now, it's not looking up to par. But we'll see how it play out. All right, that's all I have for y'all for right now, man. Give me a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Let me know how you feel. What were your thoughts on Memphis losing to Missouri last night? And were you in attendance at the game or did you watch it at home? Also, check out strike7sports.com for latest content on the NFL, the NBA, Memphis Tigers, and football, basketball content along with the Grizzlies. Have a blessed night. Peace. I'm out.